right, it's starting. We find ourselves on page Tov Resh Lamed Zayin. And I thought maybe we might take a look at some of these, because I'm not sure exactly how it applies to the rest of the Asaras that you made Tshuva, but we're saying Zachreinu every single day, up until, and we are completing the Nesira. So let me see if I can move this up without damaging anything. Okay, so here, what are we looking at here? Okay, we're still okay. What we're looking at here is, well, let's just look at it. We read an introduction on this, and here it is. So we said the word Zachreinu. So if we look at this, we have Keser, Chochma, Bina, Das, going through all the 10 spheros, and ultimately going into the Gimel Kalim down at the bottom of the Keser Denuk. So we'll go over them, and let's just see what we have. Actually, it's a picture of the Oros and the Mochin. So we had said in the introduction, which, I'm forgetting things faster than I can remember them. It's just unbelievable. What's happening here is that you have the Oros, you have the Makif, and we're still looking for a, okay, that's a Makif. And then you have the Havaya, which is inside of that Makif. And then this is the Moach, in which he has said previously that the Moachim here are in the form of a Revuah, because I guess they're going into the parts of down below it. Each one of them has the same seer. Each one of them, it looks exactly the same. And the Moach is what it is, except the Shlish Teferis is only a Yud and a Yud K, which he had mentioned previously, because Teferis, you're only dealing with the upper third of Teferis there. And so therefore you don't get the complete Revuah, you just get the Yud and the Yud K, and the rest of them are all, though, completely out, like that. Now, just for example, let's go to the next one on page Tov Resh Lamed Tes. And at first glance, they're exactly the same, except until you get to Chesed. Maybe it's not Chesed, excuse me. That's when you get to the Mochin. The Mochin were originally a complete Revuah. Yud, Yud K, Vav, Yud K, Vav K, and I wrote down here no Yud. There's no Yud. What happened to the Yud? Seems like to me that the Yud remains as a Rishima, which we said before in the previous, and I'm not sure exactly, but this is what's left of it is all going to flow into the next level, because here is going to be the next, you're going to say the next word on page Tov Resh Lamed Ches, you're going to see the word L'chaim. So we say Zachreinu L'chaim. Zachreinu L'chaim is going to be everything passing on down, but there's going to be something left behind. In this case, of the Moach. And so the Moach is not going to be a complete Revuah, but it's going to leave behind. So that we see, again, we go to the next word of the phrase of Zachreinu, we come to the next word, which is Melech. I'm just looking at the form. I'm sure there's a lot more to be said all about this. And instead of where it starts, the Moach, starting with Yud and then Yud K, it's missing the Yud again, the complete Yud. So he said Yud. So all you have now is the K, and then you have the rest of the Revuah. So if we look at one more, we go to the Chafetz, then you see that it's missing more again in the name of the Moach. The Moach is missing. We had previously K, Yud K Vav K. Now you only have Yud K Vav and Yud K Vav K. So that's the way this goes. And it gives us an idea of what he was describing before. I thought it had to do with the Rishimo. That's what I thought. So if you look back on page Tov Resh Lamed Zayin, then you see over here there's a note. There's a note called number Kuf Lamed Vav. And so up next to that note is that not only do you have Keser all the way through Chesed, Shlish, Teferis, because we're only dealing with the top part, and Gevurah. So you also have Shefa that's coming from the Gufa, the Zer Anpin, and all of this is flowing into the Gimel Kli of Keser, the Gimel Kalim of Keser. All of that is going in there. So let's turn the page, as he has a note on number Kuf Lamed Vav, and let's see what we could do with it. So he says, Kuf Lamed Vav. So what's to describe, excuse me, what's happening here? He said, Megufa de Zer Anpin, it's coming out of the body of Zer Anpin. And he says what? Milval v'gavur shemamshichim is sphere, the sphere, besides the gavuros that are being extended down from one sphere to the next, because it's on the back of Zer Anpin. The Haile Mekach Bad Chagat the Zer Anpin, Mekach Bad Chagat the Nok, you have that going on over here. Yesh the Kavim Gam Lahamshich, on the Perik, the sphere, there's also a concept here when you get down to the bottom into the Nai. This is a concept like that, Perik the sphere. Or maybe it's not the Nai. Let me see what he says. For the Chayin Yesh the Kabin Shachar Gavuros on the Misocha B'Shnecha Shlish Teferes Tachtayin, that is the Nai, the Zer Anpin. Shehem Ozias Vav K, which represent what? The Vok and the Menuk and the Nukva, B'Nikud Cholim, and they should be with a Nikud Cholim. So you look back over at it, and you see that on page number Kuf Lamed Vav on the previous page, you have all of these Menuka, they have a little dot on the tops of them that they're coming from. They're coming from Teferes. So where was that? Cholim. V'chein heim shnei netachim achronim. So at the same time, we had said that we divided up the Revuah into 4 pieces. They're the first shnei netachim achronim, the two lower ones, last one. The Revuah, the Chavai, the Hainu, Yud K Vav, and then Yud K Vav K. That's what they represent. It's interesting. It kind of builds up. Niknasach b'keser the Nuk, and they enter in. This also coming from the body enters into the keser the Nuk. Uv'kach niknasach keser the Nuk mishnei shlishi teferes the Zer Anpin. So it gets it gets menaser, and it goes through the Tziurim. So that was Zachreinu. We went through Zachreinu, and we had a little bit idea of how the seer in the RASHASH looks. Then we're going to, this was all directed, and I guess there's no note on the top, but this one has it. He says, or maybe there is, he says that originally when he says Zachreinu was dealing with the Kesser of Kesser. Now, we're all talking about the first day of Rosh Hashanah. First day of Rosh Hashanah is dealing greatly with Kesser. I can't say that it's only dealing with that because I don't know it all yet. So L'chaim, he says, the word L'chaim turns out to be the gematria of these 3 letters. So then the gematria is 68, which is Ekia, Ekia, and Havaya. Ekia, Havaya, Ekia. So there's a note on this. We'll look at it in a second. Kuf Lamed Zayin. And then it says also, it's a little, I think, a little misleading by the drawing, but he says that on number Kuf Lamed Ches, he says of the letter, the word of gematria 72, the milui of it is mo, and the gematria of sag, which is the next letter, is a gematria lamed zayin. So what are we talking about? We're just talking about the milui of that. Let's go over, and we have just 1 minute, and let's try to go on number Kuf Lamed Zayin and see how far we can go. So he says the gematria Ekia Havaya Ekia Shlosha Shemos Elul Olim B'Gematria Chaim. These all go up to the gematria of Chaim, Kamoshi is Borlo Olam, as we're going to explain later on. So it's a Hikdim Asofi Sevel. Excuse me. Let me see. This is the last one. He said Kuf Lamed Ches, which is the milui of Ma. He wants to say like this. He says the letters, and he shows the letters of the milui of both of them. Hikdim asofi tevos shehem osios mo, kodem arosha tevos shehem osios las, the fishahu milui the shem av shahu the chidach of arosh the milui of shem sag. They come first, and the reason why they come first, and we're finishing up now, is because they're actually coming from a higher level. Okay, that's what we have right now. When we come back, we'll see you on Sunday, Mitzvah Hashem. Tomorrow, maybe there'll be a shear, but not on this. And this is Baruch Fleischman. I'm at the Tikkun elevator call out.